Wait, let me check. Heart's beating, breathing. Okay, yeah, we're live.
Yep, and on the right side of the turf.
I'm not looking up at the roof, I'm looking down at the
I look like I just woke up, even though I woke up 4 hours ago.
Really?
5 hours ago. 5 hours ago.
You still get up at the crack of dawn?
Yeah, it's stupid.
She's crazy. Hi, everybody. It's Sunday, February 23rd, and a balmy, sunny, kind of a not yet breezy or Britsky. It's not Britsky.
It's supposed to be warmer today.
It is. Last week anyway.
Last week was really cold, which is why we weren't here. I didn't want her out driving in the blizzard.
2000. It's 2025. We're on episode 211 of Flockaroundthetable. Yeah, last week we're freezing. Seriously, we went knitted on Tuesday, and I had my woobie stuff on, frozen, underneath a base layer on the top, a furry lined sweatshirt and pants. And this week I'm going to go out and get a tan because it's supposed to be close to 50.
Right.
I'm going to go sit outside and knit.
It's no wonder why we're all getting influenza
and colds and sniffles and everything else. So unbelievable. What are you going to do?
I don't know.
It's just the way life goes. So,
but that's why we weren't here last week. It was snowing, and then her garage door was stuck for a minute. So she couldn't even get her car out of the garage door anyway.
Now, one time, because the old one was wood, it was it was very old, and it should have been replaced before we did, but it would absorb the water. So it got heavier.
Well, it's wood.
And it was at the bottom. And I had barely could get it up because you had to get it up and stick this block of wood in. You don't have your knitting?
That's the wrong one. I'll go get it.
Okay. So you had to stick a block of wood in and then lift it. So I got it fixed. I didn't tell him. And he comes home and goes there to do this lifting shit. And then it goes, bing, boing.
Oh my gosh. That's too funny.
It was hysterical. He was so pissed.
Oh, we got the rocking boat going on again.
See, getting me ready for my cruise ship, I think.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, must know that I live on a cruise ship just about. So anyway, this time I go to go out and I'm ready to go and we're going and the roads weren't too bad, but it was a mess. And I get out there and the garage door won't open. He goes,
It just stops. It's like frozen to the ground
of water there, and it's never done this, of course, because I'm going out early, and I would have been on time if not a little early last week.
Yeah.
And so he had to go out and clean that, and thank God she's like, "Hey, I finally sent this text."
Yeah,
which she sent about 2 hours before.
Yeah, I texted and just said,
it's not worth it.
Great. Yeah, like we can skip.
Yeah, because I was going to go to the expressway anyway when it's bad weather, because you never know. Science feels pretty good, but Indianapolis isn't about getting out, Plus, with the snow, you can't see the potholes in Indy.
Right.
Because we are known as Pothole Joel.
We didn't get that much snow to fill up our potholes. Blowing. Some of our potholes would hold a Volkswagen VW.
You too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
For sure.
I've actually seen some in Hamilton County, if you can believe it, in Carmel. Yeah, love Carmel, but they have more money than Braden sometimes. So you gotta wonder about people who are. Anyway, that beside the point.
Beside the point.
Well, yeah, they've got more of these. They have like 140 roundabouts.
They had a celebration when they had hit 200.
Yeah, and they have them all over. And now Fishers is taking over and doing it.
So is Zionsville is too.
Yeah. Serve a purpose, but like this one, when we were driving once, and she's like, "You just expect people to know you're going to turn?" Because I was using turn signals. I drive in Carmel so much that I'm in roundabouts, and as a rule, they look at you like you're nuts. You put your blinker on, and they're like, "Where the hell do you think you're going, lady?" I wasn't going to turn. I mean,
yeah, when you're in snob capital of the world,
pretty much, yeah.
Nobody uses their turn signal because they are the center of the universe. True. They themselves are.
Slow mode is on.
Yeah.
Send messenger every 1 minute. Okay, good. I'm just reading the side here to keep you informed of.
She doesn't understand technology for the most part. This is stuff that is only for us.
Oh, okay, great.
They can't see it.
Okay, but they can see us now because for some reason it zoomed in.
It zooms in on us.
Yeah, it is technical stuff.
Yeah, I grabbed the wrong knitting bag.
Oh, what's in that one?
Well, a belt. No. Yeah, it's the start of a brim of a hat.
Nice.
But
You're gonna pick up and go around.
yeah, then I hook it together,
Oh.
and then I pick up and go around. I might. So this, I'm gonna test this out. So these are just scraps of yarn, but I will make it into a brim of a hat, and then I'm gonna pick up with knitting needles to do the top, but the bottom is done in crochet. Bottom is done in crochet. Oh, hey, I have needles over here. Oh, I wonder if this is a 2.
Hey, from South Carolina. Hey, Diane.
I wonder if this is a
Diane.
If this is a 2.
Well, check it out. Did you need a 2?
I want a 2 on my other one.
Check. I just pulled off some stitches.
Oh, whatever. It's just crochet.
I know.
It's not a big deal.
I know, but I was going to test it on my head.
Oh, do you want me to just...
Here, I got it. Got to keep a string hole.
Where in the heck is the crochet hook that I'm using? Oh, right here.
Do this. It stretches pretty good. Yeah,
that's why I like it. So if y'all crochet, this is however many cast-ons you want for however high you want your brim of your hat to be. So I think in this one I did 20. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you do single crochet in the back loop.
Right.
Back.
Right.
Flip, single crochet in the back loop. You're always just single crocheting in the back loop. And it makes this nice little stretchy, like ribbing, like knitting ribbing.
Yeah.
And so then I'll go through and pick up with a knitting needle.
Oh, cool.
So I can crochet the brim and knit the hat.
Nice.
Because although knitting is faster, I think knitting or crochet is faster.
I like the look of a knit hat better.
Well, it's not even the look of, because I like the look of a crocheted hat as well. I like the fact that I can just knit
and not
in the dark.
Exactly.
I can't crochet in the dark.
Right. No, I get it. I mean, I
have to be able to see where I'm going.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes,
at least
every once in a while, you feel,
yeah,
you're right.
You still have to.
You have
to,
especially in the back.
Yeah, but knitting for some reason or another, like I can close my eyes and knit.
Yeah.
Just knit.
Yeah.
I'm not like.
Oh, it's so strange.
I'm not doing any patterns or anything. But it's really nice, like at night when you're watching a movie or something. Sure. You don't have to think about it. You can just knit.
Yeah. Because I agree. Because
you don't have to count. Right. You're not doing any kind of pattern. You're just knitting.
That's why I like this silly Santa hat that we fall with.
Yeah, I need to go find.
So we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what it's really going to be like. So but
be trashing the darn thing or cutting it off at
I doubt it.
6 inches. But
I doubt it. I doubt it. But I'm going to go grab mine because
she's made progress.
A little. My yarn. Yeah, she has her yarn. She hasn't even started it.
I want to wait until I go.
Right.
Again, I'm knowing that I can't possibly stay home for more than 6 weeks at a time, God forbid. So, I'm heading out again. So I wanted to finish things up at home and kind of clear out some of the neighborhood because I got my brother, Yeah, of course.
So and check to see if it says 2.
I don't think so. I think it's a little bit bigger.
Maybe that's a 2.
This one has a
holy crap! I have a whole mess of needles. In
storage neighborhood.
Evidently.
Yeah. Have you joined it together before you pick up the stitches? Yes. So
Well, I haven't done it before. This was just a thought.
This is your first.
Normally, everybody said I was just crocheting a belt.
Right.
Because it looks like you're crocheting a belt when you're doing the brim of a hat.
Or a headband.
Yeah.
That's a perfect headband too. Something to think about, gals, when you get
So
to the end
in
of your
crochet,
yarn.
in crochet, I joined it together and then I would pick up and crochet. And maybe that's what I'll do. I'll do one round in crochet because it'll be easier to pick up the
The
single
stitches from there.
crochet stitch.
Yeah. And maybe increase her every so often, because you could always pick up two.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
go around, and then increase that round as you go. So it's going to be kind of a work in progress.
Yep. It's going to be a work in
There
progress.
you go. And then you guys can, whoever you crocheters and knitters alike will be able to.
Do you have a gauger? A gauge thingy?
With me. Oh,
For the love of Pete and Betsy.
I have 18 of them at home. The one thing I don't
Right.
carry with me, because I usually have all my needles in my container.
Well, here is.
This is a little one. See, I don't think so, because see how
Those
these
are twos.
Yeah, but
that's
these
a
are,
twos.
see, feel this and feel this. It might be a 3, but I don't think it's a 2.
But I could go to a 3.
You could. You got a 3 right there. Might as well. 2, 3, whatever. Whatever you can grab.
Yeah, I better look.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I was shocked when I looked through my needles and I didn't have a size 2 and a 16-inch.
Really?
In metal, in Chigu. I'm obviously I have them in wood.
Yeah.
But I was like, where?
This must have been something you bought in an early phase.
It probably was, because I have since learned that I really like
the metal, the Chigu.
the metal.
Yeah.
I really okay, y'all tell us what you like.
Yeah.
I like metal. I really like Chigu's cord.
Yeah.
Because it's really flexible. I like that one end is more blunt and one end is sharper. I can tell. So
some of them you're not sure.
I like the one that's a little bit more pointy.
Yeah. To be your stabber.
To be my stabber.
Okay. Now there are times
but yeah, like if I'm splitting the yarn an awful lot, I'll use the blunter side.
Yes. That's one thing I've noticed. And the other thing is when you're doing an intricate thing and and it's darker yarn and you've got to dig.
Yeah.
That's when the interchangeables are nice, because then you can change this needle from a blunt one
to a sharp one,
so that you can make that grab of the yarn on the other side to do your yarn overs, or if you got to do, especially when you knit 3 together or purl 3 together. Those I think are terrible, The
what kind that you think are terrible?
The purl 3 together, not as bad as the knit 3 together. Knit 3 together.
3 togethers.
Yeah. Pull 3 togethers is
I don't like you. I'm not even big on purling 2 together.
I know.
To be quite well, okay, y'all know me. I don't like purling, period.
No, she really doesn't.
I don't really like purling.
She's not a purl girl anyway. That's why that when we did that hat, the one we shall not name anymore, and you have to go back to old episodes.
Well, yeah, the last 100 episodes are probably mentioned.
Yeah, since January. Yeah, pretty much any time before like 200, you could probably see it, hear it, because we talked about it all the time. Anyway,
yeah, we're not gonna.
So now the silly Santa hat and
maybe the silly Santa hat, but this is where I am so far. Now the yarn is doing all this. I'm not doing any kind of color work or not.
She's just carrying it up.
This is just how the yarn is. It's sock yarn that makes a cool pair of socks, but I'm making a long, like 9-foot long Santa hat with it. 2 skeins. Yeah, and it's just knit in the round.
Yeah.
And
knit. And it's a free download on Ravelry. And so shout out to anybody who wants to go ahead and do it. And
the silly Santa hat.
Yeah, silly Santa hat. And you can go ahead and get it. And then
I do, before I even start knit or decreasing, you knit for 9 inches.
Yeah. So that you've got a good top.
Like
the
four decreases.
Yeah. And
you do like 4 stitches that are decreases in one round, and then you do another like 6 inches or something like that.
Like so many rows, and then or space it, whatever.
Yeah.
So mine is going to be more colorful, not
colorful.
Colorful meaning colored stripes. In fact, we may need your help here to kind of figure out which one I am going for.
Hey, Karen.
Hi, sweetie. And Terry. This is going to be it's Miss Babs Yummy. and it's just a natural.
So you're going to do that as the brim?
Naked. This is the brim.
Okay, that's
and
the brim.
maybe kind of considering like the decrease rows, doing one, the decrease row, and one in this color in between the colors, just because it'll add another stripe.
Hmm.
And then we're going to go to this color. So this will be next.
I still haven't fixed it, y'all.
No,
Sorry.
Sorry. You just have to float with us. Pretend you're going to Barcelona with me.
Yeah.
So this is going to be next. And then I got this set called Coloring Lines many years ago. I don't remember when. Sorry, I shouldn't say many. From Miss Babs. As you can see, you can't really see too much. See the colors? So I was wondering, should I stick with the darker to the light or go from the light to the dark, since I have a dark color here? What do you think?
Or it could be there.
Or it could be here.
Or you could do purple and then that one.
Yeah, I could do purple than that one, and then that would make a little more sense because
that would make more sense.
Better. Okay.
That would make more sense. Do
What
it that way.
I think it's good.
Yeah, I would go purple, then this one, then the light blue.
Yeah.
Keep your blues together.
There you go.
But do you do purple first? So you'll see you're the purple
I
girl.
like purple.
So you want to see purple right away.
Right away.
That's what you should do. You should do white brim and then start with the purple.
Right.
Then do blue, then green, then orange, then pink.
Now, my neighbor suggested that what I should do is make the chunk smaller as I go up, since I'm decreasing the hat. So if you put, say, this much purple on it, then the next one you would put this much blue and this much. You would decrease the amount you put up as you go. But I think that'd be keeping track too much.
I think that would be if you wanted to have multiple stripes, I would do 5 rows of purple,
right,
and then a row of white,
and then 5
rows of blue,
right,
and then a row of white,
and then kind of do the color scheme and then repeat it.
Yeah, because then you're going to have this. It's going to be the stripe is going to be the same size all the way through.
Right.
You're going to have lots of ends to weave in, but they're all in the inside of the hat anyway. So.
Yeah, that's true. I don't have to necessarily worry about it. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah, you might be able to weave them.
I just the Stephen West way, and it's not just his. He just does a video on it where you hold it and then you knit, or you yarn over around it as you do the next stitch, and so you're putting it away as you go along, and you can and then you can cut it. You wouldn't necessarily. You have to decide if it's long enough, and then you can cut it so that you're not. It gets. I'm just
wondering if you couldn't float them up on the inside of the hat without having to cut them at all.
If you're just doing 5 yards, but the problem is that if I do 5 yards, 5 rows of this, a white, I would carry the white probably. I don't know. And then say I do the white, and then I do 5 rows of this, and then I do 5 rows of this. You can't carry all of these. The white maybe, but I couldn't.
Not?
I couldn't. Yeah, I'd be picking up the wrong one. And before you know it, I have this dangling thing.
Yeah, that's true.
And you got to remember where I knit a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, on the ship, it means I'm carting everything with me. So
yeah, I mean, you might be able to carry the white up.
Yeah, maybe. If not,
I really kind of think the white. Just don't. Just weave in the end.
So it'll be beige, and then we're going to do the purple. That's good.
Purple, then dark blue, then blue. Okay. I think you just keep the rainbow in the right
I'll just leave it in there.
Yeah.
And then I did figure out, this is good. This is funny. So I had bought one skein of yarn once on one of my trips, one of the places I went, and I thought, oh crap, I really want to start that hat because I was down to. So I thought, well, I'll just put it in a ball. Sure enough, the tables on the ship, the 2-seaters up in the buffet area, just happen to be wide enough that you can slide this size yarn on the table, and it stays there so that you can wrap it into your, and the chairs, they work, but it slides down and you're doing this across the chair.
But it works.
It really good on the table.
Nice.
So it worked perfect. And then people would come by and go, that's genius. And
it's better than
what
I normally do, especially here at home, because Jamie would get bored holding his hands out like this.
Oh yeah, they do.
So I just put it I just lay it out on the floor.
Okay. Well, the dog gets in the way.
Yeah, but I don't have one of those. But I have a Swift, so I just go back there and use that. Well, and then
I'm not very swift with the Swift.
She's not very swift with the Swift.
No,
She's
let me tell you.
not patient enough with it.
And for some reason, I've never created the knack of taking these things apart either.
Yeah. So this yarn comes like this. I have the tag.
Yay.
I mean, it's 100% wool or woolen. Northern Socks, North Pole. This is in colorway Christmas. Or Mary Mary. Sorry, it's called Mary Mary. But so it comes with the band on it. But this is how the skein comes.
Right.
Now I always go from the outside of the yarn, but I had both of them in here, and my yarn kept getting caught with the other, and then it was pulling from the pulling the inside one out too, and it kept getting tangled, and it was a mess. And so I'm at the doctor's with my husband because he needed to get a colonoscopy.
Ugh.
So they make you have a person with you to drive you home, blah, blah, blah. So I'm there. I'm sitting there for a couple of hours, and I keep fighting with this yarn in the waiting room because it keeps getting tangled, and finally went, oh, forget it. And so I pulled out this center and started winding it, and then here's these two guys that are waiting for their person to come out, and they're looking at me and they're like, why are you doing that? I said, because it keeps getting messed up. They're like, you do that by hand? And I'm like, I am now. Yeah. I am here.
I bet you guys experience that too when you're out and about and you get a barf. And then you have to put it down, and you got, our friend Colleen, her husband is great with barfs.
So I usually like them too. Not when it's the yarn that I'm working on.
Right. It has to be there. And I'll never forget the time I was brand new to it. And we were on a trip, and I bought this skinny little lace weight yarn. Me not knowing the difference what yarn was back then.
Right.
Sparkly. It would probably had silver in it too.
Like the width of a strand of thread.
It was, and I of course didn't know enough to figure it out, and I think it was like that because it did fall apart, and I had a major mess.
Mm-hmm.
And we were out on an excursion, and I'm sitting on the bus kind of taking this apart, and Mikey's next to me, and every once in a while I'd hand him something, and everybody around me kept watching to see how I would do with it. They were more intrigued with my undoing the barf than they were with the scenery where in the Faroe Islands. So, and then I finally get it, and the whole bus cheers. I said, I did it, like that. And the whole bus goes up in a big cheer.
Well, that's probably because the whole way through it, you were probably cussing on your breath, and everybody.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure he probably said, well, why worry about it? And I was like, I really want to do something. Yeah. And I didn't know enough back then I was cross-stitching probably more, so I had stitching with me instead of knitting. So, which I may start going back to.
Speaking of cross-stitching, I got my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law's a
major cross-stitcher.
Major cross-stitcher. Like she has
beyond talent.
She pulled out like 50 cross stitches that she has done and completed. That are just, and they're not little things, like. No, these are big.
No, these are decent size.
Big things.
Yeah.
So at any rate, at Christmas time, I got her. She is always looking for patterns. And she went through a 10-year period where, like, for the most part, it was all Christmas. She was doing all Christmas things. So she's burnt out of doing Christmas. But then for some reason or another, she doesn't. Well, I mean, I guess we all do it. We don't venture out of what we typically do.
No.
So she will do something with somebody in mind. Like she did some flowers for my bathroom, and she did. Yeah, like
birds.
I have a Jingle Bells one in my front entry that just stays up year round.
Yeah,
but I don't think she ever does one for herself.
Huh. We done this.
But like,
Yeah.
we all do that, right? We all
Yeah,
do like, I'm knitting a hat first,
exactly.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I found a pattern of a mama duck and a bunch of baby ducks.
Oh, cute.
And then the pond and everything. And so it's a good size pattern. But Tori, my daughter, calls her Lina Ducks.
Oh.
Because the first house that Tori remembers them being in was on a little pond and there was ducks. And so that was how Tori remembered. You know, she named everybody different names by whatever.
Even the ducks.
So yeah, it was Lina Ducks. So yeah, I got her a ducks one for her so she can have it for her. And it's cute.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of brown and yellow.
Yeah. You gotta wonder. I was into the Thomas Kincaid ones, and what they do.
Oh my God, yeah, they're just.
They do like two. They take one strand, put it together, and you do 3 stitches, and then that's it for that entire thing. And you're stuck with this strand that you have nothing. And where do you put it? So you want to put it in another little bag, and next thing you know, you have 18,000 of these little bags.
That's I never ever did the kits.
Oh,
ever never.
Yeah,
did
see,
the kits.
I have always been a kit person, and then I started with the patterns. For some reason, my younger sister, when she lived with us, we had to have the entire set. So of course, we had every one of the colors that DMC makes, and wound to put it in a box and listed and everything. So anyhow, what's this?
She's yarning. What is it? Yarning for a smile, I think is what it is. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read.
She's going to listen and chat when she recovers.
Oh, cool.
Well, good, Miss Yarning for a smile.
Let us know what your name is. So we use
yarn. Oh my gosh. I would somehow figure out how to make that a little. And then Maureen says hi.
Maureen says hi. Oh, hi.
She likes the chai goo too. And I also read this week a nice article.
Well, and this one likes to have something more grippy. I want something more slippery.
Yeah, I prefer wood.
She's tighter than ballistics. And I'm more probably.
You're middle.
I'm probably right around average.
Yeah, I would say if you see the gauge is such and such, you're
I'm usually pretty close to most pattern makers gauge.
Yeah,
you're not. You usually have to change.
No, I usually do. My brim is usually one, and then I go up, and then I go up, and then I go up. So, yeah, I like the wood. I'm kind of into Likey's now because I like the slide of it, but yet it doesn't overslide. But I was talking
the wooden Likey's,
the
right?
wooden Likey's,
and I bought
fixed. Now I do use their interchangeable.
I bought a whole interchangeable set, and I used knitting needles. I have to give them a chance.
Right.
I can't just prejudge right away. Like I got to be able to. So I knit a whole sweater with a pair of interchangeable Likey's.
Yeah.
And I hated it the entire time. Yeah. Drove me absolutely batty. They kept coming unscrewed.
Sometimes they do that.
And everybody would be like, well, tighten it on tighter. I'm like, if I try and tighten this any tighter, I'm gonna break the pin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break the fucking pin.
I've done that.
You've broken the pin?
No. I broke the knitting needle, an interchangeable wood knitting needle from Knit Picks. And they did replace it. And of course, it was on my Stephen West. And I was probably had 400 plus 300 some stitches on it. I was on the cruise ship when it broke. And I had to switch to teeny tiny ones. And I put all the little cords together in the kit because I always carry one kit with me. I have a small kit with just the small and it always sits in my suitcase. It's never taken out. And when I get home, I switch the needles back and put it back in my suitcase. So that's one of the things that I've had happen only because I think I'm so tight that you can't get across. And the reason I don't like metal is because I am a tight knitter and I go like this. Sometimes it'll
just
slide even more.
Slips right off.
Yeah, it does. So
speaking of slipping right off, I need to find some needle stop or some stitch stoppers because I'm switching over from the wooden ones to metal,
oh, okay.
and I'm gonna have stitches flying off here
She
any
is,
minute.
any minute you got to put the thing on there.
If I don't.
And you got to remember, sometimes the interchangeable are good from the standpoint of when you're doing growing projects, like a shawl, like the Stephen West one I'm
Yeah.
doing.
I mean,
Because I had to change cords in between the sets, and it's difficult, for it.
Okay, there's a time and a place for everything, but
And how many do you guys have? Do you
don't
have like 1, 2? I have a
interchangeables.
no knitting needles.
Oh,
I just got through organizing some of them.
one or
These
two
my fixed ones.
1 or 2 knitting needles, unless you only do the same thing all the time.
Okay, now that you've gotten into your metal and you prefer the Chigu metal,
Yeah.
now Chigu does make a bamboo. Very expensive though.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't even
They're
looked.
a little more expensive than they're more expensive than their needles, but I do like their cables. I wish they could be interchanged with other things. Because like Knit Picks you can use Knitter's Pride, which I don't even think does it exist anymore? Because I think Knit Picks owns Knitter's Pride. I don't remember. Just like Malintosh is owned by Jimmy Bean, you got to figure out anymore. It's as bad as hotels. When you went to Chicago the last time, you stayed at the Radisson. It was on Michigan Avenue. Now it's a Sheridan, and you have no idea where you're going.
And you're like, what?
What? I thought I was going to the Radisson, and it
I
wasn't
swear hotels do that with each other because
I think it's a tax thing.
yeah, I do too because when they need to revamp, they sell like Hilton will sell to Ramada or whatever, or vice versa.
Exactly.
There has to be some
There has
tax.
to be some tax.
I don't know.
Like it starts as a Marriott, and then it becomes a Residence Inn, and then it goes back to something else. And now they've got all these other ones like Loft and AC and things like. And you're wondering who belongs to who. As long as I get my points, I don't care what it is. Seriously,
Right.
I really don't care. Just give me
Makes
my
no
points.
never mind to me.
Week. Yeah.
Yarn for Smiles' name is Kim.
Hi, Kim.
She says she's subscribed to our channel, and but this is the first time that a live has come up for her. Has popped up and said
she's probably 100.
And normally
Cherry. Look, she can't get rid of
you
her.
don't think too. I have no idea, and I don't have that many. But I just found like 4 sets in a bag of four things of needles in a bag that hadn't been in for a couple of days. Months.
Obsessed with things because I'm always afraid I'm going to lose them. So I have to have an extra. So I have to have an extra set at home to carry with. And I like the little Chigu 2 and 3 inch. Those are incredible because you can make it teeny tiny, but yet your fingers don't cramp as much as they do with those tiny.
And those are just interchangeable, right? No, you can
buy them now.
You can get the fixed ones.
Those
would be great for the mittens.
Yeah, they might. They are. So that's.
But then you're just like.
But it really intrigues people. I've got it down pat.
Yeah.
And then other people are thinking, oh my gosh.
But then you go to something with a bigger yarn, like a bulky,
and
you're like, what in the world is this?
When you yarn over, you don't pull it as tight because it does turns. Yeah, going back and forth. Because I was doing something and I had the 8 on it, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, those needles are so small." And I'm thinking, no, this is an 8. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, those are so small. Like that. Yeah. No, this is an 8 for crying out loud. This is small. I don't like the little shorty ones because they can be a little fiddly. But once you get in the rhythm with them, it's not so bad. Like the flexi flips are fiddly too. If you only have a few stitches on.
Right. They can be.
Like the beginning of that hat that we shall not mention.
Hat.
That hat. When you only have 8 stitches on and you have it.
Sure. Then it's difficult.
Between a couple of different needles. Yeah. But I mean, it would be fiddly if you were on double points.
Right. Now,
as well.
one thing that Marcia and I both have learned about flexi flips is, you know, the world of Temu, like I love, they have them for like $1.50. Now, cords are a little bit stiffer, which I don't find to be a problem.
Yeah, no. When
Okay.
you're talking that
And
small,
steel is a little bit rougher. It's not as slick, not as polished.
right?
So your yarn pretty much stays right where it's at. And you don't lose as much, like when you're changing over or you've only got 3 stitches or so on it. It
Yeah.
doesn't have a tendency to slide back on you. Whereas sometimes when you're working with them and you've got this silly little needle like this and you're trying to get the yarn over, and these are, they got to be small. I couldn't pick them up. And you're trying to get the yarn over here and it just kind of goes like that. Plus, if they're $1.50 and you lose it on the cruise ship, you don't
It doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah.
But at the end of the cruise, somebody comes up to you and says, "Did you lose this?" And you're like so amazed that they remembered on the first
Well,
day.
you're the only person knitting on the whole cruise, so you stand out.
Other people, but I knit because of where I knit.
Yeah.
I knit in the buffet because the light's perfect. And then I can go get my coffee all the time. And then if I have my friend Colleen on the ship with me, then we can go down to the coffee shop and do that. Yeah, Colleen, we're looking at one in October. So just to let you know. But anyway.
Oh, where were we? And I had an affogato, and it reminded me of having coffee and ice cream with Tori on the cruise ship.
Oh,
Where did I go? And I'm like, you guys have avocado? What?
Mhm.
Like, I don't see that on a menu very often.
Mhm.
It was somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Oh, at Convivo, downtown Scienceville.
Downtown Scienceville.
They
Nice.
have affogato on the menu.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm
Huh.
like, can I have that in decaf, please?
There you go. There you go. You're
Actually, I
gonna
don't
have it.
think I did ask them for decaf.
Yeah. So.
And Jamie was like, decaf. In case, did I tell you guys that I went through caffeine withdrawals? If I didn't, I went through caffeine withdrawal. I am a coffee girl.
Yes.
4 days of caffeine withdrawal. So now I have 1 cup of coffee in the morning with caffeine in it, and then I switched to decaf.
Yeah. She'd leave it sit in the pot, and at 6 o'clock at night, she'd warm up
I warm up a cup of coffee.
caffeine coffee and drink it, and then go to bed. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, so
now I have 1 cup with caffeine in it, and then I switched to
I'm a
decaf.
big double points person. I like the flexi flips. I think it's because I can
like
get the stitches more in the center, and I don't fear I'm going to lose it. When I use the wood ones, which I do after size 9, because I do have size 9 in the flexi, as I do after size 9, I do put a stopper at the end.
I'll put a stopper.
Knit the holders that, you know, are needle tips, and I've taken and slide the bead over, or just stretch it to the point that at least there's something there, so that, and then I have to move that. And so I'm not a big double point fan for that reason. Plus, our friend Colleen did a beautiful color work mitten.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And she's got sticks all over the place. I wouldn't know what to do with them. I mean, at the end of it, I would be throwing them in the fire.
Did you see that she wanted your help with the thumb?
I know, but I think she's got it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure she's going to be good with that, because the trick to that is, don't worry if they tell you only pick up 2 stitches and it doesn't fill the gap. Go ahead and pick up 3 or 4. Now, I'm talking about here, guys, in the thumb, because when you take and put your thumb stitches on waist yarn or a holder, you finish the rest of this, then you come back and finish the thumb at some point. So when here, to get it to hook, sometimes you add a couple of stitches, and I go through and sometimes pick up a couple of more, and then I'll make it that, and then I know I have to decrease, usually once I've done a couple of rounds, because this knuckle here, see, and boy, our cameraman is smart today.
Yeah, right?
This is good. This is when he should come up.
Right.
This is a little bit thicker. See, so it's a little, as you got your knot here on your hand. So I find that it does help to give you a little extra room over that, and then you can go back to the size they tell you to be.
Yeah.
Because you never know, because they always assume your thumb is skinnier than what it is. And I don't understand that. Because I don't have a skinny thumb. You know.
Well, you don't have a fat thumb.
No. I guess.
You do have a skinny thumb.
Okay. I got a little head and a little thumb. All right, fine. Yeah. But anyway.
So, well, it's either that or I just have a big old fat head, which I do. I got a big old noggin.
Whatever. So let's see, what else did I read? Oh, I read about yarn this week too. Of course. Yu has an interesting thing on her blog about which yarn she prefers for a hat.
Okay.
And she prefers, well, she carries worsted. She doesn't carry socks. She carries the heavier yarns in her line. But she prefers the superwash merino without nylon. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a hat.
For a hat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with her.
Okay.
Actually, I'm okay. Like, if you're talking about a little kid, I'm going to say like 13 and under.
Right.
I'm going to go full on acrylic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's going to full on acrylic.
Exactly.
It's going to be warm.
Right.
Still. You know, you can send them out in the snow and they're going to stay warm.
Right.
And then you can throw it in the washer and
exactly
and wash it
right.
whatnot. If they're knit worthy, yeah, I'm going to go with full on wool.
Really?
What? Yeah, washable. Yeah, superwash. Why not? Why? I mean, unless you're doing some fancy schmancy color work,
right?
Then I would do that color work yarn,
right?
Whatever the heck it's called. My brain's not functioning. If one of you all know what I'm talking about, it's grippy, but it's 100% wool. It's a specific kind of wool
that's used for color work.
I
don't do enough of it. You know, and I don't feel, when I see a pattern, I don't feel comfortable enough with it to say, okay, I'm going to do that. And like Colleen, she didn't pick just something simple. She went all out on this thing. Wait till you see it. We're going to have to tell her to drop it off so you guys get a picture of it, because I'm massively impressed, because says she's a beginner sort of, and yet she can do this and pick it up. But I think that's the engineering in her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that's some of it. The guys that do a lot of color work are that engineering, spatial,
or the math brain.
Yeah, the math brain is super.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind color work.
Yeah, I don't. I avoid it.
I think.
And cables.
I don't like cables either.
I lately it's been I look at a pattern and it's like, oh, color work, I can't do that. And
although I have to admit, I'll screw them up. I'll do the tilt the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm a moron
the back
that
and
way.
The front. Yeah, the front to the back. But even though it says right there, 2FB, you know,
yeah.
2 back, and you're like, okay, and then it flops to the front and you just keep going and pick it up and away you go, and you're like, oh shit. So
yeah,
that's what you do. She says she just follows the directions. Well, you know, the big problem is I don't like that if it says to do this, and I'm thinking, well, why can't I do 6 instead of 8?
You know what your problem really is? I'm going to tell you what your problem really is.
Wait. Sorry.
You rewrite the pattern in an Excel spreadsheet. Therefore, you're not even looking at the original pattern anymore. You're only looking at what you have interpreted the pattern to be.
I don't knit. Knit to the 2 stitches before the marker. I don't put that in. I just put knit to 2 stitches, and then I know it's the marker. So anyway, we're kind of bouncing all over for you guys.
We are kind of bouncing all over.
Needles and stuff. I guess it's just because I need to want to stay on it because I have to get my yarn. And
you already have your yarn.
And like I said, I did go back to Stephen West. For anybody who knows, I'm doing the glowing snowscapes. It's from 2024 for the year, but you started it at Christmas of 2023. Well, I started it, did a really good job about halfway through, and then kind of was over it because I got to the point where you really have to pay attention, and you can't do it on a buffet with people going by, wanting to see what you're doing, and then pulling at it so that the stitches fall off when you're in a lace section and you're not qualified enough to put them back on the needle. So you just figure out kind of what it's supposed to look like, and you just put it back on. Or you break the needle, and then I'll have all these stitches floating around all over the place that you have to pick up. And you're like walking back to the room going, don't breathe, don't breathe, don't breathe. Set it down so I don't pull any of the stitches. Well, I am up to 45,000 stitches so far, and I still have one whole section to go. And the rows.
She counts her freaking stitches. It's just...
Well, it used to piss somebody off who's not, may she rest in peace. But I just kind of think it's kind of fun for some of these big ones. I mean, my painted bricks was 70 plus thousand.
I wonder how many stitches are going to be in this thing.
When you kind of figure. Now, I might be able to calculate that because I'm going to color it, because I'm going to count so many rows. Right. So I may be able to figure out that this is 120 and this is.
But mine's going to be way more than yours because I made mine bigger.
Yeah, but at least we'll have an idea. Shorter, so never be shorter than 5 foot. Paper maybe, but not in my head.
Not in her world, but in my world, we're going to have some new stitch markers up on Etsy.
Yes.
They're not there yet, but I do have photos taken of them. So they'll be up today and they'll be half price. For today, I think the half price goes off tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Not sure. Y'all, they're little dinosaurs.
Aren't they cute?
It's a little 5-pack of dinosaurs.
Oh my gosh, they're adorable. Look at this.
No, they're like flocked. I don't know what.
They're like fuzzy.
They're fuzzy. They're flocked.
Oh my God, a stegosaurus, a brontosaurus.
I don't know. They were just too cute. I had to get them. Yeah, they're gonna eat you. It's gonna eat you up. You're too funny. So those I have photos of that one. I just need to get them up in Etsy. They probably will be $7, I think, and then half price, so they'll be $3.50. Cost you more in shipping than it will be for the actual thing.
Just make sure you do a big one.
These, I'm not sure if I'll get these up today. I don't have photos of them yet. But blue rings with an aqua marker on them. Not sure what I'm going to call them, but I don't have many blue rings up.
Oh, nice.
So that will be
practically the same color as mine.
Practically
the thing. Yeah, I wouldn't go for those with this. Oh, I like the shiny bulb on it.
Yeah.
It's not overly shiny. But
so that'll be the next two listings in our Etsy shop. Other than that, everything except for rings are still 50% off.
Get them while they last, guys.
Yeah, there's a few things that I'm down to 1 or 2.
She said, they are dynamite.
And they're flocked. She's like, I love that they're flocked. They are flocked.
Yeah, Dynamite. That's what you need to call
Dynamite.
Yeah, there you go. So, okay. I don't have much of anything else today.
She was really sad. She stopped and she got Jack's Donuts on the way here, and they changed the recipe, and she's just not digging them now.
Because I was going out the door today on time for a change, and my cup of coffee did not have the lid on it, and it was about this.
And it went spewed
all over the place. I mean, made a mess. And of course,
no, we're not Southern.
Cream in there, and it attracted the dog, and so he's over there wanting to lick it. So I have to like almost wash the whole floor. And then just as I'm getting ready to go, my brother, who's staying with us, says, hey, before you go, can I get a cup of coffee? And I'm like, sure. And then when I'm coming back, he decides to fill in what's going on and what he's doing and why he's doing it. And I'm already irritated with him because when I went downstairs to look for something, his stuff is in my nest. And you don't put stuff in my nest. This is my nest. I gave you my house. I gave you my downstairs. Don't put it in my nest. Don't take
my area.
Yeah. I was so pissed. But then I was very pleasant. He never knew. And I just said, have fun. Bye. Gotta go. So I know Jack's Donuts is normally really good, and she even mentioned that the cinnamon sugar one was a little
was more
cakier,
cake donut
and which is
yeast
normally
donut.
they're like yeasty.
Maybe
and
they had the wrong baker in this morning.
could be, yeah. Sometimes they just no.
They mix the cake and the yeast donut yeast
Sometimes they
batter
have
together. That's what it tasted like.
Yeah.
Like they took the cake batter
Yeah.
and the yeast batter and mixed it
them together. They
together.
must have had left. Maybe they thought,
Yeah.
whatever. Maybe they thought they could come up with something new.
Well, so Kim from Yarn for a Smile, she thought that Jack's was just a Southern thing. So maybe Indianapolis is Southern. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's chains.
It's a purple box. So,
Yeah.
with the logo on it. And she gives me this big box because they're big donuts. I mean, they really are a good sized donut.
They're a good sized donut.
So, and every once in a while they have them on the cruise ship, and I love getting them on the cruise ship. But you know what I like? Just to fill you in so that you know someday if you ever run into me and you see this brick on my table that looks like a donut, but it's as hard as a rock. I like them stale so that you can dunk them. Yeah. My mom and I used to stop at truck stops at like 8 o'clock at night and
get a donut,
get a staler donut, and then leave it out until the next day to eat it. Drives my husband crazy. He keeps putting it in a bag. I take it out of the bag. So, okay, well, that's it. Jack's biscuits, we don't, they're good. Yeah. Glazed donuts are good for dipping too. Yeah, they add a nice, and then if you have the cinnamon sugar, you get the cinnamon flavor on the top and the sugar kind of flavor. Yeah, it's really good. That's how you do it. So anyway.
Yeah, I don't have much
me either.
Else.
So hopefully next week I'll have this pretty much started. At least started. I don't want to really work on it until we get ready to go because I want to finish stuff up at home.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm kind of doing. I'm trying to get Stephen West to the point that but you have to use all the colors for the border because I thought I might take it with.
Oh yeah, no.
And I don't think I can because I think
you have to take all the colors with you.
Yeah, because you repeat as you go up from what I can understand. So we'll have to see. And I'm not taking all the colors with me. So I'm not even sure I know where they are. I think they're in a bag.
Well, maybe you don't have to follow the pattern exactly as it's written.
It may not even get to that point.
Right.
Because it's a very, you got to remember, I'm picking up on the edge. You've all done Stephen, so it's huge. And he does.
Not everybody has done a Stephen West pattern, but I think most people know what they look like.
Okay, if you want to do a Stephen West, just say you've done it, go on Ravelry and get Boneyard or his website. It's free. And it's just a simple knit stockinette with pearl rows, sort of like the shadow shawl, but a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
Okay, on the rows. So it'll be, then you can say, I've done a Stephen West, and it's really easy.
And it's free.
Yeah, it's one of his free ones. So, because he always comes up with these great patterns, and then he does a hat, and then he does socks, and then he does a sweater, and you're over there going, I love it, but I'm not going to do it all. We've done the hat.
Yeah, we did a hat.
You did the Painted Bricks hat, which I really like. That's a fun one. Maybe I'll do that one.
It was nice meeting you too, Kim.
Yeah, it's nice meeting you guys. You guys should.
And I hope it comes up. For the most part, it's Sundays at 10 Eastern.
Yes.
Even if it doesn't come up.
Yeah.
For the most part, unless she's traveling.
Stephen was hurt sculling his head.
Yeah, me too, Colleen.
Nah.
If she's traveling, then I might have like a Colleen or a Karen here subbing in. Sometimes we just don't even make it because the weather's bad and she can't get here. Nobody can get here.
Right.
But Sundays at 10 Eastern.
My neighbor, the one that bugs, should I sister's neighbor? Anyway, she came out when we walked Bugs a couple weeks ago, and I forgot to say it because I meant to bring this up last week when we were out with Bugs, and she made a point to come over to the end of the driveway to say that she's getting a group of people together on Sundays like we do. Because she asked me about the diner one morning, and it was the pop-up diner in Zionsville, which I call this place. And then she's like, oh, I'd like to try it. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's kind of, exclusive. So anyway, so now she's getting her and another 2 ladies get together on Sunday mornings, and they switch off and go and do breakfast and just chat. They don't knit or anything, but they just sort of chat. And she said last week when they got together, that week when I talked to her, they got together and they switched coupons.
There you go.
So it was kind of fun. We started a
Get
trend.
together with your neighbors.
Yeah, to get your little guys together and do some time.
Get together with your neighbors. Like nobody talks to their neighbors
No,
anymore.
nobody
hardly.
does.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I know. I don't know any of the new ones. I mean, I know this guy.
No, I know my neighbors
So-
there and there.
Yeah, just the
And
ones
across
next
the
door.
way.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know a lot. So anyway, on that note, we will
Yeah.
say hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista, baby.
That's a long time.
Mhm. Yeah.
So anyway, you guys have a good week, and we'll see you next Sunday because I'm here for a couple more weeks, and
There you
then
go.
I'll be up in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Bye.
I don't know, but you could just drag this off more and
I
more.
know. I'm sorry.
And it's not it's not a touch screen.
Wait,
No, it
yeah,
is a touch screen.
you can't. I'm gonna slap her. You guys can't see this. Man, you are dead meat.